So there's a whole series of Jewish holidays that happen every fall, and at the very end of them is one called Simchas Torah, which is the celebration of the Torah. I was going to say that Boston ran really good parties, but after hearing your guys' stories, we're nerds. But we ran really great nerd parties, and everywhere I went every year, they were all run by these cabals of 40-year-olds. The 20-year-olds would party, and the 40-year-olds would do all the work. 5 kids later, I suddenly realize I'm 40. And people are starting to act like I'm supposed to be running things, which is fine, because I've got 5 kids, so I can run things. What I can't do is anything involving songs. So this is a problem. Orthodox Jews don't use instruments or electronics on our holidays, so all the music for Simchas Torah is us singing. And I loved to sing as a child. I was an alto, which technically means I sing lower than a soprano and higher than a tenor, but in elementary school choir, it just means you suck. If you're on a baseball team and they send you to deep left field, that's the altos. So Simchas Torah starts out fine because the sopranos and the tenors are all doing their thing. The men and women have these 7 processions, and we dance with the Torah in our separate circles. And the kids are sticking Twizzlers through the lattice work that divides us. And at some point, we are going to go outside to dance on the front lawn. Except for some reason, the men go out like the side door, and they end up in the parking lot. And the women are out under the tree, which is September orange, under the half moon. And the women do not want to move, and someone who's 40 years old is supposed to get these 2 groups coordinated. People are going inside, people are doing their own thing. I am totally failing at being 40. And somebody starts this dirge. Simchas Torah tunes are supposed to be perpetually peppy, kind of Cyndi Lauper. And this one is slow and weird. And I can't figure it out. And I say to my friend, I've never even heard this before, so I sure can't make it peppier or stop it. And she says, you have heard it, wait. And all of a sudden, it turns into this super common Simchas Torah song. Everybody's jumping. And she says, they never should have done that first part. About 3 months later, I'm sitting with a visiting rabbi who had been a student of Reb Shlomo Carlebach. He was kind of like our brother Blue. He preached and sang in the 50s through the 80s. And this student was telling a story about a song that Reb Shlomo wrote when he was in Poland. And this guy was there. And there were 2 groups of people there. There were the Americans and the Poles. And Reb Shlomo was looking from one group to the other. And I thought about those 2 circles on Simchas Torah and how I ran between them trying to figure out how we could sing together if we should sing together. The Poles were all survivors of what we call the Shoah, which is the Holocaust. And Reb Shlomo said this one, he was missing a hand. This one was missing a leg. This one was missing an eye. Broken circles. And he starts to sing, and the song is broken. It starts slow, and when it climbs, it falters, and it doesn't really build, and all of a sudden, it turns into this joyous song. And I think that must have been when he looked at the Americans. No, not everyone is all looking at us. He was saying that he heard the 6 million who died in the Shoah talking in his ear, and they were telling him, dance to Yerushalayim, to Jerusalem. Later that night, he made a recording and finished up the song, and the producer said, I know it would make this even better if the 6 million said, let's all dance to Jerusalem together. And Reb Shlomo looks at him like he's a complete blockhead. He says, they can't dance. They're dead. They're telling me to dance. And when the tune starts this time, I don't need to wait for the popular part. It's the Krak al Niggin. It's the song from Simchas Torah. And this song is like your drunken uncle. This song is your aunt who's loud and embarrassing, your difficult sibling. And this song is like the nursing mom who's got spit up on her shoulder and she put her hands out for the Torah. All those broken voices that ruin our celebrations, all those voices that tell us to dance.